Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Mike Sadek, Managing Director of Retail Trading here at Lightspeed, and we're very pleased to be doing this webinar for you today in partnership with Cybertrade University. Joining me today is Fausto Pugliese. He's the founder and the CEO of Cybertrade University, and today he's going to focus his presentation on day trading using level 2 and depth of book quotes. And I think learning how to read and decipher these quotes is a skill that's really essential to every active trader who wants to compete in today's marketplace. So I'm convinced we're going to have a very interesting presentation. If there are any questions you have about the material being presented, you can just type them into this webinar chat box, and we're going to attempt to answer some as we go along. And then if we have time, we'll also do a quick Q&A at the end of the presentation. So we're going to record this webinar, and it's going to be added to our archive library. So if at any time you want to come back later on and view it, you can find this one and all our other recorded webinars at lightspeed.com/webinar. Just a quick disclosure, please remember that this webinar is being provided for you for educational purposes only, so none of the information presented constitutes a recommendation by Lightspeed or by Cybertrade University to buy, sell, or hold any securities or to pursue any specific trading strategies. So with that disclaimer out of the way, I'll turn the presentation over to Fausto.
Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you, Lightspeed. Everybody from Lightspeed, hope everyone's having a great day in the market. I'd like to thank everybody for coming, and I'd really like to appreciate that. Looking forward to doing this event for Lightspeed. I really think that what I'm about to teach everybody today is something that is really going to focus on what I do specifically that's going to help you in everyday trading. I'm going to go over a little bio about myself. You can see I'm a little different than everybody else. What you're doing right now, having an account at Lightspeed. I'm basically the same exact trader. The only difference is I'm probably your great-great-grandfather. I'm very young. I just broke my 40th birthday, but I did start when I was 22. One of the original SOS bandits, or original day traders, that started the industry. So, I'm very familiar with the Lightspeed product. It's a very, very great product, and exactly if you have an account at Lightspeed, you're going to see that features and the functionalities, everything that it does is what I actually really do trade. So it's not like like a special strategy. I'm going to teach you exactly what day traders do, and most importantly, what you're going to learn, and what I'm going to cover today, is that there are some of the features on that Lightspeed product that I rarely see with other competitors and other people I do industry and deal with other people in the industry. And I don't know if some of you are taking advantage of those features, but I'm going to show you how crucial and important they are and how I use them today in today's market volatility. So let me change the slide here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, just like Mike was mentioned, we all have to have these disclosures because we do have to keep our attorneys in business, and we have to be compliant. Once again, be very careful when you're investing in this industry and make sure that there is a high risk into trading. And to find out more, feel free to visit our website and our disclosure page. Now, 5 things that we're going to learn today, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to cover. Number 1, okay, I'm going to teach you how to read level 2 the right way and level 3. Now, I don't know if anybody here knows how to read it or what you're looking at. I'm going to cover that, and I'm going to cover also, which is another great feature on the Lightspeed product, which is the open book order, which I call it the level 3, or the actual proper word for it is called total view. I'm also going to talk about best times to trade. I'm going to talk about how to read charts. Actually, believe it or not, 80% of the people I talk to read them backwards. I'm going to teach you that. And how to find stocks to trade in today's market volatility. I know that's also a very hard hurdle. Everybody's always trying to find stocks to trade. Don't know where, so this guy found that one, or you don't know if you should trade because does the stock, is it have a good spread, or is it too volatile? And most importantly, how to find the right ones. I'm going to cover that too. And then last but not least, why traders we've trained at Cybertrade University do better than the average trader and investor. So at the end of the presentation, I'll open up the Q&As, and I will be able to teach you, let everybody know if anyone's interested and want to know more about it and learn more. If you're impressed with what I was able to cover today, I'll tell you a little bit more about it at the end of the presentation. Now, just a quick introduction about Cybertrade University. I know that Mike from Lightspeed did do a little quick introduction, but I want to tell you a little bit about myself, okay? Because I am no different than you guys. I mean, when I started the industry, when I got into this business, I thought I knew what I was doing, and let me tell you something, I lost miserably. And the reason why I lost miserably, because I really didn't know what I was doing. I started as a stockbroker. I hated it. I realized I was a glorified salesman. But I thought I knew how to trade. I tried to trade on my own. And being fortunate, living in New York, after going through a horrible, depressing, losing streak, I felt I was fortunate to know people in the industry that what I was doing, and they were able to teach me how to do it the right way. I had a mentor who took me under his wing and showed it to me. And this is what I've learned. And I'll never forget that day. What I learned on the first day on the job, I should have never made my first trade. And that's what I'm going to teach you hopefully tonight. I'm going to teach you guys that there are some great features on this Lightspeed product that you can't get anywhere, but you have to know how to use them properly and why we're using them. Over the years, just to let you know that I'm also very well known. I don't know if anybody has ever seen me at any of the trade shows or any other financial websites, but I am 9-time champion at the Traders Challenge. I basically beat every school in the industry because I love to compete. I love to trade, and I am a trader. I was a market maker. And I feel that if anybody here wants to learn from somebody, obviously, being a champion is obviously going to help, help not only your credentials, but it's going to prove to people that if they really want to learn, they should learn from somebody that does it on an everyday basis. And now we teach people all over the world at Cybertrade University through webinars. We've been doing webinar technology for way over 10 years now. So just like we're doing right now. So anyway, so now we're done with that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into and start learning how to trade. I don't know if everybody here knows how to read level 2 and what it really is, but let me kind of give you a quick basic understanding of what we're looking at. Let me get my crayons out here. Hold on one second. There we go. All right. Oops. Let me change the color. Right. There we go. Okay. Now, B stands for buyers. S stands for sellers. Now, what we have over there is we have 2 columns. What you're seeing right now is basically people looking to buy the stock that we're looking at, Michigan Industries, whatever stock symbol it doesn't really matter. But bottom line is you see people out there trying to buy this stock, and they're also looking to sell it. There are 3 columns here. 1, 2, and 3. The first column is giving you a 4-letter abbreviation of the brokerage firm's name. The second column is giving you the price of what that brokerage firm or exchange is looking to buy that stock for. And the third column is telling you how many shares that brokerage firm or exchange is looking to buy. Now, everything there is multiplied by 100. Same thing for the sell side. These are people looking to sell it. This is the price they're looking to sell their shares for. And this is the shares they're looking to sell. Is my audio coming in and out?
A little bit, Fausto.
I'll try to talk a little bit closer to the mic.
Thanks.
Otherwise, I'll do a test. Let me know if any problems with the audio.
Okay, thanks.
I'll try to slow it down. Maybe I'm talking too fast. I have to apologize, everyone. I'm from New York, and we do talk a little fast sometimes because we do get excited. That's just a New Yorker thing. Anyway.
I think the speed was good. I think you were just kind of going in and out a little bit.
What's that? I'm sorry?
I think the speed was good. You were just fading in and out a little bit.
Okay. So getting back to the level 2, ladies and gentlemen, what you're basically seeing is a big chat room. And people are basically posting their bids and offers. Now, why is this so important? Well, let me just scroll in over here and bring in the Lightspeed execution system. And at the end of this presentation, if anyone's interested and would like to get a sample of my layout of the Lightspeed, I'll be happy to give it to you. But what you're seeing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the true data of what controls the whole market is what happens here in level 2. The charts, the time and sales, the risers and fallers, the ECN book, the tickers, your value, everything that goes on starts from here from the level 2. How stocks go up and down in the stock market? Supply and demand. So you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, it takes the supply and demand, and you want to know where that supply and demand, and it all starts from level 2. So let me move that away. Hold on a second. All right. Now, the way level 2 works is this. Whoever wants to buy the stock for the most amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants to buy it for less money is down here at the bottom. Same thing for the sell side. Whoever wants to sell it for the least amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants to sell for more money is down at the bottom. So what you're seeing, once again, is a big chat room. And that's what basically you're seeing. Now, how is this important again? Because supply and demand. Stocks are controlled by supply and demand. And if you're going to trade a stock, you need to know who your competition is. You need to know where the big buyers are. You need to know where the big sellers are, because that's what makes support and resistance. Now, moving on with level 2. Now, what I'd like everybody to do is at the end of today's presentation, I'm just going to let everybody know that I'm going to invite everybody tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a live trading demonstration tomorrow at 10 a.m. So for some of you that will want to watch, I'll let you know at the end of the presentation how to register for it. But I'm going to be using these tools and showing you how important it is, and I will be in positions, and I'll buy and sell. I mean, the market's closed right now, but you have to understand, you'll see how important that feature is because it controls the market. Now, let's get into the next most important window of the whole execution system, and that is called what is the book. We call it the ECN book. It's I like to call it level 3. Some people call it, the real proper terminology is called total view. Well, basically what you're seeing here is now you're seeing orders that are hidden. You're seeing hidden orders. This is where you see all the big block orders. Actually, we used to call this, when I originally started, this was actually called Instinet. It was like an Instinet book where the institutions put all their big orders and everything. Well, now with today's technology, you all have access to these exchanges. Now, there are one thing that, in my opinion, Lightspeed probably has the best ECN book that I've ever seen, hands down. And I'll tell you why. And I don't know if anybody here has ever seen me in other companies, but I can tell you why it's the best. First of all, there are different exchanges that you could trade on. There's the NASDAQ, ARCA, ADGX, BATS. You know, you could see all of them, Flow, Open. These are all different types of exchange companies out there. Okay? So some brokerage firms might route orders to different exchanges. People like you and I could place orders on any of these exchanges. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're market makers too, by the way. We could actually go out there and compete and be like Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch. You just won't see Fausto Pugliese, or you won't see Mike, or you won't see Lightspeed. What you'll see is the price and the amount of shares. And then basically, just to let you know, you see these colors right here? These colors are basically coordinated to what's going on trading on it. Now, I preferably find that, you know, if you're trading New York stocks, ARCA probably has the most liquidity. If you're trading NASDAQ stocks, I always found that EDGX and NASDAQ have the most. Sometimes you don't really need all the other exchanges. You know, sometimes they might have something here and there. But those are the real two biggest popular ones out there. Now, if you could see, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to level 2, because this is one of the problems with level 2. Everybody says, you can't trust level 2. They're a bunch of liars and everything. I understand that. But, and not only that, but market makers will only advertise on level 2 their best bid and best offer. Over here, they can be at different price levels too. You know, He could be, this could be made up of Goldman Sachs at 1944, 1943. He could be at different prices. So just to let you know that the total view, you're seeing 20 times more data than on the level 2 book. Now, I just came back from Vegas, Las Vegas, for the Traders Expo, and I had a meeting with NASDAQ, and just to let you know, from what I was told, that they're going to be fading out level 2 and probably within the next year, and everything's going to be total view, which is okay. I mean, which is great, actually, because this is where you get most of your data from, but this is basically going to be the most powerful tool you're going to see. Now, how do we use it? Oh, anyway, I missed this part right here. I'm going to show you how we use it. But here's all the features, the different exchanges, and you can see it. Like, once again, like I told you, a lot of other brokerage firms do not offer this. It is very, very exclusive to have these great features on there. Once again, this is what I was taught by my mentors, okay? They told me, this is Fausto, you can't move the market unless you got millions and millions, about billions. You got millions, billions. And if you're going to be the dominating trader to trade that stock, why try to be a leader, be a follower? Follow the money. Follow where you see the big block orders on. And the two best places to find that will be, obviously, first protocol will be the book, the total view book, the level 3, let's call it, and then the level 2. All right, so what I'd like you guys to do is, if you want to see me use this platform, and see me trade on it, and see me place orders and see how it goes, tomorrow I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that. But in the meantime, definitely have it turned on, and I'm telling you, it is going to show you wonders. I think one of the main reasons why people kind of shy away from it is because they look at all these numbers and it changes so fast and whatever. I'll explain to you why that is. Maybe you're trading a stock that's too fast, I don't know what's more important, you trading fast stocks or trying to make money, okay? There are a lot of stocks out there to trade, and you can't trade every one of them. All right, I have a question that came in here really quick. The market makers in HTS play so many games in level 2, I have to switch and watch the data. The sales only. Interested in hearing from your thoughts on this. Well, listen, I was a market maker, okay, and they do go out there and they do play games. Actually, there was an article that was written on Active Trader magazine. It's called Market Maker Traps. It's a lesson that I do teach on it, but once again, that I can cover tomorrow. But yes, you're right. They do play games, and specifically on the more expensive, most brand name stocks. But at the end of the day, why go out there and trade those stocks? There are a lot of other stocks to trade that will give you less risk with more reward. Okay, let me change the slide here. All right, now let's talk about how do we use this. All right. Now, let me get my crayons out here. Hold on 1 second. Now, the first thing that strikes me, whenever I trade a stock, I look for supply and demand. Now, if you look at this stock went up, it came down. Okay, you can see right here, this is support levels. Okay. Now, what makes the support levels is buying and selling. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is I'm going to look out here in total view, and you can see 9,000, 4,000, 2,000, boom. Once we get around this $37 price range, look what we're getting. Now we're getting double digits. And look at this, 90,000, 30,000. You start seeing the big block orders starting to kick in. So that probably would explain when the stock comes down, this is why you'll get big block orders. So I look for those big block orders that will confirm a support resistance. Now, we see all the time stocks breaking support and resistance levels. Well, from what you could see here, if this stock wants to go any lower than this, somebody has to, number one, sell to all these buyers. And if it does, then it will go down. But in the meantime, that's where they are. And that's all you really basically need to see. You need to see who they are, where they are, and that will confirm those supports and those, obviously, resistance levels. But obviously we can't see a resistance because We got to bring down our total view a little bit further down. Let me change my slide here. All right, here's another example. Get my pen. You can see right here that the stock actually went up and came back down. Now, if you look all the way down here, you could see from 57 down here, you're getting 3,000, 3,000, 4,000, 4,500, 4,900, 4,900, 8,000. You can see where the big block buyers are right there. So that probably will explain the resistance levels right there. Now, if you look right here, that, ladies and gentlemen, is called a support level. And if you look right here, around 50, there's a 26,000 share buyer out there. So the thing that you have to look at, ladies and gentlemen, is that, and by the way, another thing I want to give you teach you a little strategy. This is a New York stock. If you notice that 26,000 was done on ARCA. Sometimes, sometimes you could check some of these off. You don't need to see all these price levels. It's overkill. But depending on what stock you trade, sometimes, one of the strategies we teach you at Cybertrade University is, depending on what stock it trades on which exchange, this book can be overwhelming at times, and this list can get really, really long, so sometimes you need to see all of them. But in the meantime, the point that I'm trying to get to is you see the stock coming down, it hit a resistance, it's going to go down, stock going from 258 down to 250, it's the reason why it's going to go to 250 because that's where the next biggest buyer is. So it's very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, to follow your book and follow where those big orders are, and that will give you the game plan, where to get in and where to get out. Let me change the slide here. Now, Mike, I don't know if you could stop and maybe ask, does anybody have any questions on the actual total view?
Yeah, so Fausto, one of the questions that came in is about the ECN books, and the question was, is this showing trades that already happened or that are waiting to happen?
Excellent question. They're waiting to happen. They're waiting to happen. People have their limit orders out there. You could see the limit orders out there. But once again, one thing that we teach at Cybertrade University, which obviously we can't do it now, I'll show you tomorrow when the market's open, is that you will see these orders, if they get executed, like the guy at $2.50, and how do you confirm that is obviously using the time and sales on the actual Lightspeed product. That will confirm it if they cancel their order or if they or they're getting executed. Now, if they cancel their order, obviously you could assume that's what we call a ghost. People putting orders out there, maybe that changed his mind, or maybe he's trying to show some support, or he's trying to bluff, out there. It could be a fake order. I mean, it's a real order, but he's probably using it. I don't know. He could probably be faking an order, trying to show some support and resistance. But the only way to confirm that, if that number comes up to it, if the number does drop down to that price, and the only way to confirm if he gets executed, which is the third most important window on the execution system, is the time and sales. Any other questions, Mike?
Yeah, and another follow-up question to that was, is it possible that some orders are hidden, and then in that case, obviously, they're not displayed? So sure, some of the venues do allow users to place hidden orders, and in which case you would not see those orders. But as Fausto alluded to, that's why it's important to also watch the time and sales windows, because you may see prints going off at prices where you didn't see a quote, and in many cases, that's an indication of hidden orders getting executed.
That's very true. That's very true, and you're right. But you know what? I tell everybody that's the least of your problems. Everybody's always worried about, what about the hidden orders? Listen, if somebody has to sell something, first of all, they're not going to hide it. Only people going to hide it are people like you and me, those small scalpers, day traders. but maybe they want to cut the line by a couple of, with their 1,000 shares or whatever. But if you have a big trader out there, he's got 20, 30,000 shares, and I mean, if they have to advertise, they'll advertise it. I mean, they're advertising it now. So, I think people, I hear that often, Mike, and I just think that people take that, way too more seriously than what it really is.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a very important point to make. A very small percentage of orders are actually hidden, and as you said, those are not the orders that are moving the market.
They're not going to move the market. Any other questions?
That's it. Let's go on.
Okay. Now let's talk about timing during the day. Now, when I originally started, I was there trading all day, and I could just tell you this, that I've learned to manage my time better so I get to enjoy trading more and I get to enjoy my life more. There are only really certain times where the market is extremely volatile. 50% of the volatility happens within the first hour and a half of the open, and the other 25% happens in the last half hour of the close. And then in the middle of the day, usually it's the other 25%. So me personally, I like to just trade the first hour of the open, sometimes the first 15 minutes. I'm always preparing during pre-market. One of the very great features about the Lightspeed product is that you can trade pre-market. You could see pre-market. You could, and what's important about the book, that's the only thing that you could see where orders are. And let me tell you why. Level 2 for some brokerage firms doesn't show you the orders on level 2 until the first 10 minutes of the 10 minutes prior to the market open. But the total view, the open book, will show you those orders as they're happening. So for me, I'm not recommending anybody here trade pre-market unless you're very experienced and you're very disciplined. And I know Lightspeed doesn't like that too, because the spreads get very, very big. So unless you're a really good trader, don't do it. But you can, because this is my theory. If you can't make money during the market, what makes you think you're going to trade pre-market and aftermarket? So, but what you can do is it can give you a game plan, an idea of what's moving or not, because obviously the markets do open up an hour and a half prior to the market. But now if you're a swing trader, then I recommend you trade in the middle of the day, because now you're going to get more technical with technical analysis. You need to digest it, but don't, try not to mix and match. Try to do one versus the other. But timing during the day, ladies and gentlemen, very, very crucial. Here's an example. Here you have a stock today, right here at 9:30, and you could see right here it goes into 1 o'clock. From 9:30, right there, you could see pre-market. Right here, it started making its little move, and then right at 9:30, the stock went from 12.10 all the way to 11 o'clock, went to 12.90. Okay, so you're talking, give or take, $1. Okay, on the average. And if you see in the first 15 minutes, the stock literally went from $12 all the way to $12.70. So there are stocks out there you could trade, get great volatility in them right in the morning. I like to just trade the morning. I like to just make my profit and walk away. You can still make money in the middle of the day, but you know what? If you met your goal for the day, just walk away. You can come back tomorrow. Listen, you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, you're doing this as a career. You're doing this for the rest of your life. Okay? You don't want to burn yourself out. If you got a profit, take it. I know it's kind of hard to do. It's actually one of the hardest things to teach, but it's something that, believe it or not, you're going to have to learn in experience and in time. Now, does anyone have any questions about timing during the day? Anyone have any questions, Mike?
Nope, no questions.
All right, now let's get to everything. Let's get into things that people all want to know. Charts. Okay. You have to be careful with charts because, number one, the problem with charts is they're lagging. Okay. Everybody, gets very overwhelmed with charting. Believe it or not, when I first started back in '95, we didn't have charts. Okay. We were just working strictly off the level 2, and by seeing the big block orders on the level 2, that was our support and resistance levels. What's great with today's technology now is they make it so easy, and show it to you, but what's happening, I'm finding, is that now people are starting to get away from the raw data and working off past data, and it's kind of hurting them. So you got to be careful with charts. Try to keep it a little bit more simple. But one thing I do want to point out is that when you're looking at a chart, go out there and know where the supports and resistance levels are, okay? Know that if you break a support level, that support level becomes a new resistance level. You know, I kind of teach at Cybertrade University, you know, something like called a building method. And very simple, and you'd be surprised how kiddie-ish this is, but you'd be surprised how it works. Let's say this is the second floor, and this is the third floor. You know, when you look at a chart, it's almost like a building, okay, like an architect drawing. Well, I want you to understand that when the stock goes up, okay, or here you have a stock at a resistance, that is your ceiling, and this is your floor down here. Now, the thing is, when you climb up a ladder, first thing you do when you climb up a ladder, you look up. And the reason why you look up, because you don't want to hit your head. You can't predict the future, but you can see what happened in the past. It will give you a game plan. Now, can you break through a floor? Of course you could. And just want you to understand that when you break through a support level, that support level becomes your new resistance level. So always have a game plan, and most importantly, draw trend lines. No matter where you are in the stock, draw a trend line. Let me change the slide here. Now, for example, let's look over here. Very basic chart, very, very simple. But let's look at this for example. Stock right now is going down. Here's your support. Stock's trading right there. First thing I always recommend people to do, draw a trend line. And you can see that you do got support levels here and here. So, yeah, you know, 35, 75 might be supports. But if it breaks the support that where we're at, then obviously the next support level will be right here at 35.50. Now, if the stock goes up, your game plan would be, if you look right here, would be 36. Now, I understand maybe a lot of you guys know this stuff already, but if you, this is basic trading 101, all right? And I still see advanced traders making this mistake. Have a game plan. Know where support resistance levels are. Write it down. You know, and then you'll be surprised that you might not need the chart as much as you need it. Because the chart, to me, is more like a crutch. You know, eventually you got to get off the crutches. You know, once you have a game plan and you know what's called the pivot points, what they are, once you know where more the majority of pivot points are, do you really need to use the chart? I mean, let's be honest here. There's only so much you could fit on your screen. And if the charts are eating up your whole screen, what's left? I mean, I think the raisers and fallers on the Lightspeed platform are more important. I think the book viewer to see more depth is more important. The level 2, you know, I mean, there are very important features on that platform, but once again, you have to prioritize what is more important than what's less important. And by the way, I know everybody says this, and there's another question people ask me, Fausto, how many monitors you have? Well, let me just tell you something. If you can't make money on one monitor, you can't make money on two, okay? So me, I have 4 because I'm doing webinars and doing everything, but I don't fit, my execution system eats my whole window, one window, that's it. You start getting crazy and start blowing this thing up, now your mind's going to be all over the place and you end up distracting you. Question, Mike, you identify these as what interval charts? 1 minute, 5 minute. You know what? That's an excellent question, Mike. But I'm going to get to that in the next few moments. Okay. Now, what I usually have is, well, I'll answer it right now, Mike. I like to look at 2 charts, and let me bring it over to you. Hold on one second. You should all be able to see this probably. I like to have my charts as a intraday chart, 1 minute intraday, and a 52-week. Now, what's nice about this chart is that, you know, this is basically would be my basic layout. Now, if I need to get more, be more creative, then I can look at a 90-day, But when I want to look at the overall perspective as I'm shopping and looking for stocks, I like to have a 1-minute intraday and a 1-yearly chart. Okay? The KISS method. Keep it super simple. All right, now when it comes to trading, ladies and gentlemen, you can see clear as day that Netflix going up right now is probably going to test the resistance levels. Hold on a second. Right here. And if it breaks this resistance level, which is probably 71.50, if it breaks that, then it's probably going to go to these new highs right here, a little bit over 72. Okay? Now, when you start implementing Bollinger Bands, MACDs, moving averages, SMAs, all this crazy stuff, just to let you know that things start becoming a little bit more busy, okay? And what ends up happening, instead of keeping you focused on what you should be watching, which is the total view in a level 2, you start looking at these things, and the problem with indicators, they're lagging. Now, let me just tell you right now, point blank, indicators do not work for day trading. Indicators work for swing trading and investing. And the reason why is they're lagging. I don't understand how people could look and tell me they're looking at a 200 SMA, or whatever, a 15-minute, whatever they're looking at and implementing these ways of looking at MACDs and Fibonacci's. By the time you figure it out, the stock already made its move. Getting back to the chart prior, we knew where support and resistance level is. You see resistance at 36. You see support at 35.50. What happens when a bull hits the floor, ladies and gentlemen? It bounces. Did you need an indicator to tell you that? I don't think so. Keep things more simple, and you'll see your trading will be that much better. You'll do better trades. You'll trade, actually, and that's another problem that I see traders do. They'll go out there and they'll analyze the stock to death, and then they won't even trade. I mean, if you don't trade, you're not going to learn. No, you can only play, and the only way you're going to learn is losing money. And I can tell you this, if you're afraid to lose money, you're in the wrong business. You're going to lose in this business, okay? Losing is not a bad thing, okay? No one can be the Green Bay Packers, okay, be undefeated, okay? You can still be a great team, and regardless being in New York, I'm a big Jet fan, but look at the New England Patriots. You can still be a great team and lose 1 or 2 games. You're going to lose. It's going to happen, okay? Trading's the same thing. You're going to lose. Don't be afraid to lose. It's part of doing business. But once again, try to keep things more simple. Now, for everybody, tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to invite all of you. You guys can come and watch me trade, and I'll show you how simple it can look when it comes to that trading. Now, finding stocks to trade. Like I said, I can't say enough about this Lightspeed product. I mean, how great it is. Also, a great feature it has, which is probably the only one that I've seen with execution systems, is that this Lightspeed product has a very good tool that's going to help you find stocks. Now, I like to use the risers and fallers that it has. And I have it defaulted by percent, because the percents are going to show me the big movers. Like, for example, CMED. I don't know if anybody traded this stock, CMD, today. But if you look over here, CMED, if you look at this chart right here, this stock at 9:30 this morning ran from 260 and ran all the way up to 310 by 11 o'clock. Now, you go ahead and do the math on that. If you bought a stock at 250 or to 260, whatever you want to say it, or 270, and sold it at 310 on 1,000 shares, that's a 40-cent profit. 40 cents on 1,000 shares is $400. Do that over the course of the year. For some of you, that's almost a $100,000 a year salary. People are dying for a job for a $50,000 a year salary. It's not that hard to do, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, I want to point this out too. This is a great example. You see over here when I talk about timing during the day? This is exactly what I was talking about. 9:30 to 11, see? Flat line. And then here's 3 o'clock, and from 3 it went from 3:10 to 3:30. 3:10 to 3:30, $200 in an hour. It's not bad for a $3,000 investment. Anyway, I didn't plan that. That just happened. I just noticed it like that. But anyway, this is where you find these stocks that make these big moves. You know, right over here in your percentage gainers, risers, and fallers. And not only that, but you know, Lightspeed also has another great feature on there, which is right here, which says ticker alert. This is another great feature I like to use. This basically tells me stocks breaking new highs and new lows. So this is also something that you might want to have up and running because sometimes stock will be breaking a daily high, and that's another great feature. You got to remember, I don't know about you guys, but I really don't care what I trade. I'm just here to make money. That's it. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, Fausto, I'm glad you pointed that out because that's probably the single most widely used built-in filter that we have in Lightspeed. It's this ticker alert. I mean, it's just the best indicator of the stocks that are moving, and that's really what traders want to be, what they want to be trading.
And Mike, you know what? I've been doing this for 16 years, and and it's amazing. But some platforms out there don't even have it, and some of them that did have it take it out, and it's great to see that you guys have it. Some people don't realize how important it is. Depending on if you're looking to do, if this is what you're looking to do, you need these features. It's all about getting ideas. It's
Absolutely.
not about trading Apple every day.
Absolutely.
So everybody goes out there and they, oh, what's Apple doing today? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, you're going to trade a $400 stock? You think, we're going to trade Netflix? I mean, it doesn't matter what you trade. You want to trade things that have action, and you need to find stocks that are moving in the market. You're looking to make your days pay. Without volatility and action, you're not going to do anything. And you got some great features on here to use, and it's terrible if people aren't using them like they should be. So if you're using it, like I said, go out there and apply it tomorrow. So with that said, here's a couple of examples. Talking about Netflix. This is why I don't trade expensive stocks. $300 stock goes down to 71. Let's think about this for a second. We looked at a stock called CMED. CMED, if my goal, and this is what I was taught, and this is what I teach my students, okay? If my goal is to make $100,000 a year, my ultimate goal is I have to make $500 a day. That's my goal. Now, the thing about being a professional trader, you want to risk the least amount of money as possible to do that with the most amount of reward. So if I had a choice to trade Netflix or CMED, I'd rather trade CMED. It's less expensive, it has more volatility, bigger percentage gainer. Not that you can't make money with these stocks, it's just that now you're dealing with better traders on Wall Street, you're dealing with more capital, and it could be more volatile for yourself, and it's harder to follow. Like, for example, I don't know, Mike, did anybody trade the stock Royal today? R-O-Y-L?
Yeah, we had a few.
Okay. People found it today? Well, I found Royal. Royal kept popping up on the ticker right here. The alert, the ticker alert. I mean, here you have a stock. Look what it did. I took this photo today. This stock went from $3.50 or $4 all the way to $5.50. Okay, beautiful run, right into the close. That's a pretty big percentage gain pop right there with a stock right there. So once again, these are stocks that you find, and how I found it, I found on my ticker alert. Here was CMED, the one I traded is the image I took, and I showed you. Now, the only thing about CMED, just to also teach you guys a valuable lesson, you can see CMED was kind of holding here at a resistance levels right here. Had a tough time breaking it. If you can see on the chart right here, it had major resistance levels right around the $5 price range. And you really can't see it wish I had it up here, but you can't see it. But CMed did have a big order out here right around $5. A couple of big block orders. Well, you can see some of them, 12,000, 18,000, which is right before the $5 price, which is normal. JetBlue, same thing. By the way, this is a great stock to show that why these stocks make big moves early in the morning. See that right there? Stock went from $4.70 to almost $5 a share. If you look here on the long-term chart, even if you're a swing trader, you could see that JetBlue over here on the right-hand side, how it hit a major support level in October, and when it hit that back in December, it went right back up. So once again, how did I find this one? Right on the ticket alert. And then what I was doing with JetBlue is I was putting it on my market scanner. So if there's a stock that you like watching, like there's something I like that's been making, even though it might not pop up every day on the risers or fallers, if there's something I'm monitoring because I'm seeing some action in it, I will put it in there. All right, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about discipline. Know what your profit goals are, daily, monthly, be realistic. You have to understand, trading is not investing. This is a job, okay? And you have to ask yourself how much money you're looking to make as a salary goes. And you have to try to do whatever you can to make that day's pay. But most importantly, don't be a gambler, okay? Don't go out there, treat this like a business. It doesn't take a lot of money to make your day's pay. You know, Lightspeed wants to keep you as a customer for the rest of their lives. They don't like people coming up, opening up accounts, 50,000, 20,000, 100,000. And you know how many times I've seen it all the time. People, they go out there and they say, you know what, I could trade this. I'm going to try to trade the market. You got the greatest platform out there in the industry, and then all of a sudden you start trading things, and people be like looking at you like, why are you trading that? You're not even qualified. You know, or here you are just trying to, you know, replace your job or trying to supplemental income. Learn how to use the system. Try to meet your goals early on. That's what we teach you at Cybertrade University. You know, and practicing it, seeing it little by little, and try to meet those goals, and then start going to the next level and try to meet bigger goals. Just do yourself a favor, everyone. Don't look at other people, how much they make, okay? If you're new to this, try to start small, try to meet those small goals, and then in time, you will be able to get there. This is not Caesar's Palace, you know, it's not Vegas trying to make it all in one shot. You know, they don't pay you on your losers, all right? You're looking to do this for the rest of your life, I hope. Be patient, it will come in time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys know this, but Cybertrade University was ranked #1 school 6 years in a row by Equities Magazine. One of you did talk about market maker traps. You can find it on our website on the Fausto's blog, but Active Trader did write an article on us. It's right here called Traps. It's a 9-page article. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about it, you're more than free to read it. That was a great article that was written up on me. Now, if anyone here wants to actually watch me trade tomorrow, you're all invited to come and see me trade tomorrow. Let me just bring up a browser. If anyone's interested in registering, right here on our homepage where it says free live trading webinar under quick links, right next to my picture, which, by the way, if you guys want to watch me, I was doing a live trading challenge in New York. I don't want to say who my competitor's school was, but I did beat them pretty bad. Pretty big company. But if you like to see it, it's a great video. It was actually, by the way, this was actually aired. I did a documentary for A&E channel on day trading, and they did it on me, so you can get some clips of that, reading that. But if you want to watch me do live trading, you click over here and just register at the bottom, and I will do some live show you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I don't know if, Mike, you could put it in the chat room, but you could add that in there.
Sure, I'll throw that up there.
Okay, good. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, also, if anyone wants a copy of my Lightspeed layout, send me an email, and then I will send it to Lightspeed, and they will go in there in your account, and they'll give you my layout. Okay. I think one of the hardest things in the beginning, and this is not more or less, you know, any like Lightspeed's fault, but sometimes, you know, we go out there and we don't realize, some of us, how inexperienced we really are, and being a great platform, we try to show off to some people that are very new to this business, and we show these great features that it has. But and this thing is endless. But if you want to kind of get more of a good basic startup one, feel free to send me an email. I'll be happy to give it to you guys and get it set up for you. Okay. Now, if anyone has any questions, I'll stick around. We've got about another 10 minutes before we're going to end today's presentation. And if somebody has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat, Mike. And then if not, feel free to register for the event for tomorrow morning.
Okay, so I don't see any other questions coming in, but I'll just add a little bit to what you were talking about with the layouts. So if you're not a Lightspeed client yet and you want to check out a demo of our software, you can just go to our website on lightspeed.com. Right on the home page, there is a demo request box. And then we can have one of our reps give you a personal walkthrough, and we can help you configure the layout to anything that you want it to look like. If you've been using a different broker and you have a certain layout that you're used to, we can help you configure that so you're starting on something that looks familiar to you. And then, of course, if you like the layout that Fausto set up for himself and you want that, you can get it from him, and you can just give our customer service team a call. They'll set it up for you so it'll look exactly the same as his screen does.
Yeah, great, Mike, and that's so true. And let me tell you, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, I do a lot of education for a lot of companies. One thing Lightspeed has far more superior than most people out there is they definitely have great customer service. Being a committed trader to a company, I mean, that was one of my biggest things that I've learned. I had companies that gave me better deals and this and that. You know what? The great thing about trading is, number one, you have the best platform out there, and number two, you're going to have great customer service. And if you're a new trader that needs to learn this business properly, you want to make sure someone's going to be there to hold your hand and walk you through it and how to use it properly. So that's one thing, just once again to give a little quick plug in Lightspeed in a way that if anyone's out there that's new trying it, it's definitely one of the most superior ones out there.
Thanks, Fausto. I appreciate that. Hey, one final question that just rolled in is, the concepts you talk about, do they work the same for ETFs as they do for equities?
Yes, it does, but honestly, Mike, I don't trade ETFs. I like to just trade the stock itself. Everybody has their whole theory of why they trade ETFs, and but it's just too much volume is trading in an ETF, and sometimes they're too volatile. I mean, I'll trade an ETF once in a blue moon if the market is extremely volatile. I'll play the triple shorts, whatever, some FAs or something like that. If there's something really big going on in one industry. But other than that, I mean, that doesn't happen all the time. And, people just trade ETFs just to trade them because they think that's all that's out there. I don't know. I was just basically raised, in this industry just to trade the stock itself, find the hot ones that are moving and go from there. And, and if the market is very volatile, if an industry is very volatile, then I'll trade an ETF. But that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any other questions?
So I don't think we have any other questions coming in. There's some specific to Lightspeed. Yeah, all the market data packages that you see are available on our website. It's lightspeed.com/pricing. That's a shortcut. You can go right to the pricing page. You'll see everything on there. We only do real-time level 2 data. We don't have any delayed market data packages. That's not the type of clientele that we serve. So yes, everything is direct from the exchanges. We don't use data aggregators. We pull our own raw data from every venue and display it to you. So with that, Fausto, thank you so much for doing this presentation for us. I think it was very informative, getting a lot of thank yous from our audience. And of course, I want to thank our audience for joining us tonight. As I mentioned earlier, the webinar is recorded, and we're going to have it up on our website within a day or two, so you can always come back and review it. So with that, thank you, everyone, and have a great night.
Thank you for having me, Lightspeed. Thank you, Michael, and hopefully see everybody tomorrow trading live with me. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Sounds good. Good night.